If your paycheck disappeared tomorrow, how long would it take before panic set in? A week? A month? Maybe faster than you would even want to admit. I was thinking about that recently after talking to a woman whose company let go of hundreds of employees almost overnight. She wasn't underperforming, she wasn't new, she had been there for years, did everything right, and truly thought she had stability. Then one meeting changed everything. And what stayed with me most wasn't even the layoff itself, it was hearing her say,
"I don't even know what I would do without this job."
That sentence bothered me because a lot of women feel the same way. I'm talking about highly skilled women, capable women, the kind of women everybody depends on at work. But financially, many of them are still relying on one stream of income in a way that feels increasingly uncomfortable right now. And if we're honest, that's a big part of why I do the work I do. Because once you start seeing how quickly companies can pivot, restructure, downsize, automate, or eliminate positions, you realize something very important. Employment and safety are no longer the same thing. A salary can create comfort while still leaving you vulnerable. That realization is exactly why more women are searching for additional income streams right now. Not because la-di-da-di and everybody suddenly wants to become a full-time entrepreneur, but because depending upon one paycheck by itself, it's no longer emotionally safe. And one of the biggest misconceptions women have is believing they need to completely start over in order to build another income stream. You probably don't need another degree. You probably don't need a brand new identity. You probably don't need to reinvent yourself from scratch. What you might need is to finally recognize that the skills you already use every single week have far more value than you've been taught to believe. And that's what we're talking about in this video. I want to show you why your existing skills may already qualify you to start coaching. I want to show you why so many women overlook the value of their own experience and why building a skills-based income stream creates a different kind of confidence, both financially and emotionally. And stay with me until the end because I'm going to explain the shift that completely changes how you look at skills online. And once you understand that, coaching makes a whole lot more sense. So one thing I've noticed is that women often minimize the very skills other people would gladly pay them to learn. And part of the reason this happens is because competence becomes invisible to the person who has mastered it. If you've spent any number of years managing projects, solving problems, leading teams, communicating with difficult clients, organizing systems, training employees, navigating career pivots, building routines, improving processes, mentoring people, or helping people get results, your brain eventually categorizes those things as normal. But normal to you doesn't mean common. And that distinction matters because the marketplace values solutions in a different way than we internally value ourselves. And many of us have been conditioned to see our skills as obligations instead of assets. You become the reliable one, the organized one, the resourceful one, the person everybody calls when something goes wrong. Then somehow all of that capability still gets mentally filed under,
"I'm just doing my job."
Meanwhile, somebody else is packaging a similar skill set online and building an entire business around it. That's the disconnect. And real talk, women especially struggle with this because many of us were taught to associate skills with perfection. We think we need to know everything before we can help anybody. But that's not how online education and the coaching space works. People aren't searching for perfection. They're searching for progress. They're searching for someone who can help them move through a problem faster, clearer, or with more support than they could alone. That's why coaching has become such a powerful business model. Because coaching isn't about knowing every answer on earth. It's about helping people bridge the gap between where they are and where they want to be using knowledge, frameworks, support, accountability, and lived experience. And once you understand that, you start realizing how many women are already sitting on monetizable skills. I'm talking about the woman who learned how to rebuild her confidence after burnout, the woman who mastered productivity and systems after years of chaos, the woman who learned how to navigate corporate leadership, the woman who became exceptional at budgeting, communication, wellness, fitness, branding, organization, networking, parenting, time management, or career transitions. These are not random life experiences, y'all. These are solved problems, and solved problems have value. And this is where the internet changed everything financially for women. Years ago, your skills mostly benefited your employer. Today, your skills can become intellectual property. That's a completely different level of opportunity because now your skills can live outside your job title. Your ability to solve problems can become its own stream of income. And I really need women to understand this part. Multiple streams of income are not about greed. They're about protection. Protection from instability, protection from economic shifts, protection from your entire lifestyle being dependent upon one company's decisions. And emotionally, that changes how you move through the world because there's a different level of peace that comes from knowing your earning power doesn't begin and end with one paycheck, especially now. Because if we're being honest, many women are exhausted from carrying the pressure of survival on one income stream while simultaneously trying to build a life that feels secure. Housing costs are higher, everything is more expensive, people are flat out burned out, layoffs are constantly happening, and industries are rapidly changing. So when you start thinking about coaching or online businesses, your deeper motivation often isn't fame or entrepreneurship, it's relief. It's relief from feeling financially concerned, relief from feeling trapped inside one path, relief from believing your job is your only option. And the truth is, that's why this conversation matters so much right now. There are women with years of valuable experience who still believe they have nothing to offer simply because what they know feels ordinary to them. Meanwhile, somebody online with less experience, less credibility, and less depth is building another stream of income because they understood something very important. They understood that the market rewards clarity and positioning more than it rewards hidden talent. Changing your perspective on that can change everything. And this is also where so many women get stuck when they do try to start because they believe the first step is becoming an influencer. So they spend months obsessing over content, aesthetics, logos, followers, and visibility before they've even clarified what transformation they provide. But visibility without positioning creates confusion. You don't need thousands of followers to help someone solve a valuable problem. You need clarity. You need to understand the answer to just 3 questions. Who do you help? What problem do you solve? And what outcome are people willing to pay you for? The answers to those questions matter far more than trying to look successful on the internet. And keep watching because in a minute, I'm going to explain the biggest mindset mistake women make when trying to turn skills into income. And honestly, fixing this one thing can save you months of spinning your wheels. But before I get into that, if this conversation is already shifting how you think about your skills, I want you to drop the word income down in the comments. I put together a free training where I break down how to build a skills-based business, why coaching works so well as the first business model for women, what most women get wrong when they start, and why structure matters more than credentials or a giant audience. Because some of the women making serious money online are not the loudest people on the internet. They simply know how to clearly package a transformation. Now, here's the mindset mistake I see all the time. Women think they need more information before they start, like more courses, more certifications, more preparation, more confidence, more time. But preparation can quickly become procrastination when it's driven by fear instead of strategy. And too many women stay trapped in learning mode because if they actually start, it forces you to be seen in a different way. Once you decide to monetize your skills, you're no longer just the dependable employee or the helpful friend. You're positioning yourself as someone whose experience carries value. And initially, that identity shift feels uncomfortable for a lot of women, especially high achieving women who are used to external validation determining their worth. But one of the most powerful things about building a skills-based business is that it forces you to recognize your own intellectual value outside traditional systems. And real talk, that confidence carries into every other area of your life because now your career isn't your only plan. Your paycheck paycheck isn't your only source of security. Your future no longer feels completely tied to one employer's decision. That changes how you negotiate, how you plan, how you recover from setbacks. It changes how you think about freedom. And I truly believe more women deserve to feel that feeling. Not because everybody needs to quit their job tomorrow, but because relying on one stream of income in today's economy creates a level of vulnerability many women are tired of carrying. Your job can still be valuable, your career can still matter, but your skills deserve the opportunity to work for you too. And once you start understanding how to package what you already know into offers, programs, coaching containers, or frameworks that solve problems, the entire conversation around income changes, because now you're no longer waiting for permission to increase your earning potential, you're building it yourself. And that's a powerful place to be in. And that's exactly why I created 2K in 2 hours, because I noticed too many women were overcomplicating the process of turning their skills into an offer people are willing to pay for. These women had valuable skills, valuable experience, and valuable insight, but they had no structure around how to clearly package all of that. So inside this mini course, I walk you through how to identify the right offer, position it strategically, and structure it in a way that makes sense for today's online market so you can stop sitting on valuable skills and finally turn it into income. Because here's the thing, random effort creates exhaustion, but structured offers create leverage. I want to leave you with this. Your future may not depend on discovering some new revolutionary new idea. Your future may depend on finally understanding that the experience you already have has value beyond the walls of your job. Because your skills are not just tasks you perform for your employer. Your skills are your leverage, your opportunity, your protection, your possibility. And in a world where stability increasingly feels uncertain, the ability to create income from what you already know may be one of the most important financial decisions you ever make. Your job was never meant to be your only plan. And the women who understand that early enough place themselves in a completely different financial position over time. If you want help learning how to package your skills into a high ticket offer, check out 2K in 2 hours linked below. I'm Nick Scott, and I help women recognize that the skills they already have can become income streams, leverage, and options outside of a traditional paycheck. And after this video, go watch this one, because it's going to help you start seeing your experience through a completely different lens. Okay? I'll see you there.